Hello, everybody. Welcome back to VR and all that jazz. I believe we're on season 2, episode 2. We're your host, Jasmine.
And Jasmine.
And we're live every third Wednesday of the month. But
It's
I
been a
feel
little
like a
while.
liar. I feel like a liar saying that because the last Wednesday that we were live was in January. So it's been a while, but we have good reasons, I promise. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But if if you like to chat with us live, you can catch us on YouTube, and we're also streaming on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I think on X/Twitter. But if you want to chat with us live, find us on YouTube on our very dedicated YouTube channel at VR and all that jazz.
And I think we're a little behind on the audio episodes. By we, I mean Jazz. And I'm just kidding. I'm throwing you under the bus there, but it's fine. So we'll catch up. We'll get all the episodes up eventually in audio format on all your favorite audio platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and Google.
Yeah, we're super behind, actually. My bad.
Well, considering how late this episode was, is any indication of how life's been going. So
yeah, it's been a lot, but we're still here. We're still around. We actually got a really interesting comment the other day on our YouTube channel. Someone had said that they were freaking out because they looked for our podcast on my YouTube channel, which is where we were before. And then they noticed that all the podcast episodes were gone. And they just thought that maybe me and Adam had a falling out and for legal reasons had to remove all of our episodes or something. And then they kept searching and found this channel. And they were like,
got a divorce.
Yeah, but that was really
big
sweet.
custody battle.
Oh, yeah. And think that, that was really sweet. Anyway. All right. We have a very special guest today. You probably already know her, but we'll introduce her a little bit. Adam, do you want to introduce her?
Absolutely. We have the super popular, always flirty. I can see her face in the wings. And sorry, just cracking me up. Stop distracting me. I have to introduce you. Okay, we have the ever popular, I don't care what she says, always amazing, always awesome, Vivian, aka Control Flirt Delete.
Oh. I didn't know you could see me.
Well, like not on stream, like you were in the gray, so only I could see.
Like,
oh
my god, you're just saying nonsense now. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there. But how's it been? It's so cute because when we posted on Twitter, and thank you, by the way, because this is a super last minute, like, oh my god, we're actually going to do the podcast. We need a guest. Let me see who we can find. And I was like, well, Vivian's freaking awesome. Let me ask her. Like, we're going to have her on eventually anyway.
Last minute, you guys asked me on Sunday. Is that last minute these days?
I feel like
on streaming,
I like to give people at least a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I made the thumbnail this morning, so
I appreciate it. Yeah.
We made the post just a couple of hours ago, so the fact that people even showed up, hey everybody, thanks for showing up.
Great.
Vivian, for some reason, if someone doesn't know who you are, could you just give a brief intro about yourself?
I'm so embarrassed. I don't know why. I mean, like maybe okay, whatever. I am Vivian. I'm here to talk about VR esports, which is funny because, well, we'll get into that. But I started the Hive like 2016, 2017, something like that, which was like a first like VR talk show, one of the first talk shows in VR. And then I joined VRespawn. And I played VR esports. I started the first all-girls team, the Killettos. I know some of you were in there, some of you were in here. So yeah, started that, and then I do some work with XR Safety Intelligence, a little bit here, a little bit there, and working with VR Villa. Like they're doing like live events at all these different cons. So a little bit of that, and then some casting with Outrun Digital coming up with their high school season. So yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Oh, that's super
and
cool.
Been in the VR space for a very long time.
Yes, I'm here for the parties. They're fun.
And she's at like everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but like
the party. Vivian.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you gonna be at CES? I'm like at the party. Like, I'm not going to CES. I'll be at the party. Although I did go in to like do a little interview with Nick Mitchell, but otherwise I'm like, why? It's the same.
Truthfully, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
I'm I think we're probably gonna skip next year even, but
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that hurts my heart, Adam. But you know, we
That's
were
a
also
big deal.
we were also
Why?
having the same like possible because there's just so much more happening at other conventions. Like GDC is popping, Gamescom, and like, you know, I don't know what the economy is doing now, but I think it's not good.
A little
So
bit not good. You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
So I think we need to conserve finances where we can.
yeah, and it is just like CES. I mean, not that there weren't other good things, but the best thing about it was the party. But I feel like it should have been the party and stuff you see at CES. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it should have been both. Like
Maybe it was just a
Okay,
slow year.
I
this
saw
past
a
year.
lot of stuff, but not a CES.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're right.
see,
Yeah, a lot. I saw a lot of stuff. But yeah, I'll be at AWE. You guys will be there, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, we will be.
that's in my neck of the woods.
Not just the party, I'll be there. Oh yes, because Siren, and Onward, she's like, we need to hang out all together. I'm like, well, AWE is gonna be in SoCal, so we'll
Fun
do
side
it.
tangent. I actually asked her before you to see if she could come on. But she, of course, it was crazy last minute, and I was like, "That's
Cool
fine, I
and
know."
ouch.
But
Like I'm not. No,
Yeah, I think that's something you could have kept to yourself this time.
how many people? It's okay. Actually, I've been talking with her, and I'll get into when you ask.
that's what she
questions about
said.
it.
Yeah, that's the only reason
Okay.
I brought it up was because there was like weird synergy and stuff. Good. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, we will be at AWE, and in fact, me and the Impact team will be having a panel that Adam will be paneling.
saw that.
Moderating.
Moderating. I don't know. I can't think. I'm so tired. I just showed up. Yeah, moderating. And it's going to be all about marketing your VR game and how to launch your VR game successfully.
I'm just
Noise.
reading the chat here.
Well, I want to know, since it's been like at least for me and Jazz and the rest of chat a couple months, I'm gonna see what you guys are up to. So, you know what, Vivian, since you're our guest, have you been trying anything new in VR, playing anything, apps, games, whatever?
Okay, so yes, a few things. One, I started Supernatural, and I remember when it first came out, I was like, okay, but it was like subscription based, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I tried it, and I love it. So I'm like really hitting that hardcore right now. I got Ashley to do it with me, so we're like, let's get more like people,
Oh,
and
that's so cute.
it's really cool, and I think it's totally worth the subscription because it's popular music. Oh,
Yeah,
that,
well,
that
and
hurts
they
to say. You know what I
lowered
mean?
it. Like the
Yeah.
subscription fee used to be higher, and they actually lowered it. I think
They
during
did?
Meta Connect. Yeah, which is crazy. You never
Oh.
see any subscription service
Go
lowering their
down.
prices.
I know,
Yeah,
right? Netflix, take
I
notes.
love it. I know, right?
Yeah, it's actually it's fantastic because it's like if you take it for everything that they're trying to offer, it's great because it's like in a scenic area, which is fantastic if you happen to get nauseated in VR. It's pop music, so you kind of like you've heard of it, and it's like by decades. There's Disney
Mhm.
on there, so it's a little bit more. I like that. I mean, I like the other stuff that we discover, in other games, but I really like being able to be like, yes, I want to listen to Taylor Swift and Jab, and I like the coaches. I didn't think I would. I know some people turn them
Same.
down, but I like them because
Yeah.
they remind me to breathe, which apparently I needed to know. So, but they remind you, to like get your form up, and then like I remember to put my hands up, that kind of stuff, and it's pretty, so it's
Mhm,
easy. They've got
mhm.
like good intensities, so that's what I'm really hyped about that. Secondly, I do want to shout out to PAL VR World. It's a really cool girl named Summer in Onward, and she's trying to get like more people playing the assault. Was it
Mode?
mode? Thank you. Oh, I couldn't think of the word.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they have like a little league going on, and they're getting more women playing. So, yeah, that was not my jam, but because there's cool people playing it, I've been jumping in and trying to remember if I knew how to
Do the thing.
do the thing that you do. The thing. So yeah, those two things. So Onward, which did I have to tell you that, and Supernatural. Those are and of course I always play Walkabout mini golf, so that's just on the docket all the time.
Mhm, mhm. Adam, what have you been up to? It's been so long. Who are you?
I know, right? I'm
I
trying
don't
to
even
think
know who
like
you are anymore.
recently, I've been playing. I don't know if you've seen it like on TikTok or whatever, but that game that's called Content Warning. It's
Oh
not a
yeah.
VR game, but I'll
I've
bring up
seen it.
why I'm bringing this up. Yeah, it's sort of like Lethal Company esque. I want to say in style, but what happens is you have to. It's you and 4 friends, or up to 4. And you go down into this like back rooms style area, and you have a camera with you, and so you have to record crazy stuff that happens in there, in order to upload it to SpookTube and become famous. Like, so the end of the day, you go down, you film stuff. Hopefully, you have good footage. You have a limited amount that you can shoot. You go up, and you can actually watch all of the clips that you took together, which is hilarious. And there's like somehow the game's able to detect what you looked at, so there's like fake comments on it. It's so good. But anyway, I bring this up because Dexis, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's a modder who did the Lethal Company VR mod, and he looks like he's working on a VR version of this, which would be super cool, because I really liked his Lethal Company mod. It was a good one. Have any of you played? No?
Mm-mm. I didn't know we were allowed to
No.
talk about non-VR stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm-
it went into
I read
VR.
the title, so no, I'm
VR
kidding.
modded. And then the last one I wanted to mention that I tried just quickly was the demos. Maybe you've seen this. It's called Cold VR. It's sort of the reverse of Super Hot, where when you move, that's when time slows down. So it's like,
Oh, is that jarring in VR? Like,
it's hard to shoot, kind of, because you can't really line up your sights. You kind of have to keep moving, but it's interesting. Like, if you liked Super Hot, this is just pretty much the reverse. And I did want to say that, like, man, I think that it's a solo developer, and I think that the developer should, really be aware of some of the potential drawbacks in creating something from an already existing IP. I mean, we don't want it to stop to a new low. 5.
oh wait, that's like $150 there. Oh,
Told you I'd work it in. Anyway, but yeah, so Cold
So
VR. Is
I want to
that
cut
our
out that.
sponsor?
Yeah.
No, Cold VR. So it's interesting. It's, again, like reverse Super Hot. There's a free demo out now on Steam. I'm not sure like when the actual full game release is, but if you liked Super Hot, you'll probably like this too. I thought it looks pretty. It looks really good for a solo dev.
but do you like move in slow motion, or is it slow motion like around
Only
you?
like, so when you move, things are in slow motion. When you stop, things are at normal speed.
So you're moving at normal speed. It's just everything around you is slow.
Yes. I realize now that could be very confusing. But yeah, so you're moving at normal speed, and as long as you move, everything around you's in slow-mo. But as soon as you
Oh.
stop, things like speed up and are regular,
I would be curious to try that, because
Yeah.
like when I try like different worlds in VR chat or in like Horizons, where it messes with the physics of time, it's
Mhm.
weird. Like, I feel like I'm being held hostage or something. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just like, I want to move like this, and I can't. So I'm curious. That sounds cool though. If everything just kind of stopped, I feel like the Flash. So
Yeah.
that's my
Well,
jam.
what about you, Jazz?
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
That's my update. I'm tired.
Well, okay, so I haven't had as much time to play games because we're busy making games. So it's interesting to be on this other side of it. But there are some things that I have done in VR recently. One cool thing was last week, actually, our team at Impact Reality, we had our meeting in our virtual office in Horizon World. So we have our like Friday stand-up meetings where we like talk about how the week went, and it was
cool.
really cute. It was so cute. So we like we were all in the conference room. I wish I prepared photos and stuff, but just look at my Twitter, I guess, later. I'll post it. But we all sat around like our virtual conference room, and everyone was all trying to talk at once. I'm like, all right, hang on, guys. So I went into the kitchen and grabbed like a donut. And I was like, whoever is holding the donut can talk. And it was so
God.
good. It really, it just, there's a lot of people on the team now, and it's just really nice to feel together in a physical space. So we're trying this out. We're trying to switch it up and see like every Friday if we can meet in a different spot in VR for our meeting. So that was fun. And then, and shout out to Creeper Betty because she made this world for us, and you can find it at Horizon Worlds. Just look up Impact Reality, and you can visit our office. Yeah, you can. It's open, open for business.
And her as a guest too, sometime. Sorry.
Yeah, totally.
She's
so many good women out there.
Like doing his work right now. Yeah.
I just have to say one thing. Ashley said that jacket though. Is it my jacket or Vivian's jacket?
It's gotta be this jacket.
Pretty sure it's my jacket.
Yeah. Well, okay. Can I tell you the story of this? I was in Toronto. Thank you. I was in Toronto, and with the Killettos, and then we had dinner with Zim and Karen, his wife, and he was wearing a side quest sweater, and I was like, where did you get that? That looks good. Like, and so while he's like talking and we're all like having drinks or whatever, I'm like texting Shane. I'm like, I noticed that Zim has the sweater. And so Shane's like, okay, all right, I'll send you a jacket. So then I came home, and a few days later I got this jacket. And
that is a really cute jacket.
I like that one.
I didn't know it was side quest. Wow.
Yeah.
The material looks good
but
too.
They had this in like red, and black, and then they have like a bluish, like light blue, turquoise kind of, and then there's sweaters, and like Mike is on there and Cass like modeling and stuff. So I'm gonna try and get some photos and see if they'll like, put that on my resume or something.
That's awesome.
Everyone in chat, saying hi.
Okay, well, I want to talk about my jacket too because I really like it.
Okay, tell us about your jacket.
It is blue and it has clouds. And it matches my basic Stanley. Look how basic I am. So cute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cute.
No judgment, slight judgment. But
and in my car, I just got air fresheners in the shape of a cloud. I'm so about cloud aesthetic right now. Clouds and mushrooms. I don't know. I'm having a quarter life or no, wait. Oh, crap. It's not quarter life. A third life crisis.
Clouds.
How do you know? You don't know.
I don't know.
She knows the exact day she's gonna die.
That's it. I did see a fortune teller, and they told me. It's a long time from now, though. I'm tired. Anyway, and then some other things I've been doing lately, somewhat VR related, I guess. I've been watching a lot of KDrama in my Apple Vision Pro. That is.
Shut up. Why did you not tell me we're gonna talk about K-dramas? Oh my god.
Well, okay. If Adam can talk about non-VR games, I can talk about K-drama, okay?
It's in your Apple Vision Pro. It's VR related. It's fine.
Okay, I was watching it yesterday, and I'm like, I'm gonna go into VR and watch this so I can watch it on a big screen. Like, I want to watch. There's there's a really good one on Netflix that's still going on. So I was just like,
which one?
Queen of Tears.
Oh my gosh, that's on my to watch list.
Oh my god, you should still watch it. It's so cute.
Okay. I just finished It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and that's the same actor.
It's the same actor. Yeah.
And oh my god. It's Okay to Not Be Okay, so good. But anyway, because I don't have a TV in my room, I only have it downstairs. So this is how the setup of my room is. I have like my Apple Vision Pro right next to me on like my bedside table. And I've actually moved my laptop downstairs because I have 2 floors. So my upstairs has my PC, and this is where I am. And then my room now has my Apple Vision Pro, and downstairs, if I'm ever trying to work from the living room, has my laptop. And that is how I have been able to use my Apple Vision Pro a lot, is through K-drama, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, did you, when we were at the CES party, like the one where everyone was demoing, I can't remember which one that was, but Nick Mitchell brought his camera, and he showed like when they were filming all the like K-pop concerts. So that was really cool. Like you putting on and like you're like there at the concert watching.
Oh, you mean Amaze VR? Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, they're gonna have some big. I mean, I don't know much about K-pop, but like they have a lot of fans in the waitings for those, and it's really cool. Like I finally got to recently watch, some of the free concerts they had, and it's crazy. It's almost uncomfortable how real they seem, how close they get to you sometimes, but it's good. And I'm like, man, this could really bring. Like, can you imagine if they had Taylor Swift? How many Swifties would buy headsets just to see her?
Bananas. Have you gone to the Horizon Worlds one?
For Taylor Swift
had Blackpink, and they had like Who Was the Child.
Oh, cool.
You didn't know? Oh my gosh, that's what I did over Christmas. He just went to all the concerts. Yeah, they even had Doja Cat. It's so good. It's just like, for someone my age, it's just really nice to go out without going out. It's like a concert, and then you get
That the
like front row
screaming and the
seats.
sweat and the
Yeah, and then you know what else you could do? You can mute everybody. So if you don't want to hear anyone around
Shut
you
up.
yelling or whatever, like you just want the vibes of the people, but you want to not hear them, totally mute them. But then they do get all up in your face sometimes. Yeah, and I'm just like changing to a different room.
Well, I get really excited when they show things like that, like K-pop or anything that is like I could bring other people in who are like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like, I mean, everyone kind of like outside of my VR circle or whatever, like kind of like makes fun of or like pokes fun at me, like when I went to my high school reunion, they're like, we thought you were gonna join in VR, stuff like that. So I'm always like, if there's something like cool and new, I can like bring them in. Like, oh, K-pop or something like that. That's like I
Mm-hmm.
like when people do stuff like that because then I can like like get them in here and be like, see, isn't it fun? Don't you want to not throw up?
Don't you want to throw up?
Not throw up.
Yeah.
No,
oh
but
man,
I really
don't
do
wanna...
think that like it's got a huge potential, like music and just fandoms in general.
Yeah,
like putting
totally.
heads in
Music,
headsets.
like with Wave, when there was Wave. Was it Wave? Yeah, VR. Remember the music one? It was
I
like
don't know.
it was like a social one, and it was like just music, and you had like these cool like neon avatars, and then just like really
Mm-mm.
focus more on music. Is it completely Wow, maybe I'm old.
It's like a
No,
fun
I know
acid
what you're
trip.
talking about.
Yeah.
Other things I've been doing. So I don't know. I posted like a bunch of Rayband meta videos on my YouTube channel just because I've been like, I mean, Adam, like you ended up buying one, partially influenced by me, and I think Zim was the other person.
Yes, you bastards, but I love you.
Right. Yeah. And so I don't know. I put like a series out, and then all of a sudden I'm just getting like a bunch of glasses now in my mailbox. So I've been trying out the lucid ones. I just posted a video about this. This one has Chat GPT integration. So
Oh, okay, I saw that one.
Mhm.
And
So I just made a video about this one, and then I also just got this one. I don't know what's happening, guys. I guess I am a glasses with Jasmine. I don't really know.
did you ask them for bifocals, Grandma? Since you're like so concerned about getting old.
Oh my gosh! Wait, look at these. They changed pin.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That is cool. Oh,
Yeah.
the XReal kind of is starting to, not that it's the same as those glasses, but the XReal, I think their Ultras have something like that where you can actually just dim it. You don't have to use the blackout shades so you look super Ray Charles.
So cool. I really like this. And it has it has an app, so you can actually, so it's on the left button, it just has 4 different like brightness settings, but if you want more granular, you would just use the app. And this one just doesn't have any AI in it. Boo, glasses don't have AI, but it has
first world problem.
Yeah, but it does have it has the speakers in it, but I can't figure out how to get it to work yet. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to get the XReal glasses, but I think it has to be like plugged into your phone while you use it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have its own battery. It's got to be plugged into something, whether it's your phone or your computer or like Steam Deck, etc., etc.
All right. What about those? Okay.
No, these aren't smart. They're just Bluetooth. It's just like a Bluetooth speaker basically, but you can change it. That's it.
Oh, so the tint changes. It's not an AR thing at all. It's just to change the amount of sun that you can see or cannot see.
Yeah, it's just like a super, I don't know, you can control the level of tintness versus like, I have my Ray-Ban Meta, the transition lenses, and people complain all the time that it doesn't get dark enough, the tint when you're like in the car and stuff. But so I don't know. There is a world where we are going to use this technology with AR technology instead of the blackout, like you said, Adam, and it's going to be great. Someone just needs to put all of these really cool tech together and not send it to me in separate pieces.
Is she complaining about getting stuff sent to her? Oh my god!
Oh no, I'm getting all these
Please
free glasses.
send it to me. I like to have them on display. So, that's cool though. I mean, my brother, who's like, he's a gamer, he works at Blizzard, right? And so I'm like, you got to get in and do gaming in VR. But he's like, I'm not going to do VR until it's just like in glasses, So
what's going to happen though? Like VR, you think it's ever really just going to be glasses for him? I don't know.
No.
I think it's going to be a really long time.
And also, like, I don't know if it was in glasses form, how are you going to have like a nice, field of view with that. I feel like
I think he just means like just to wear it. Like, what if it like wrapped around? Like, I don't know.
God.
I don't
use
think so, but
use your words, bro.
have you guys seen that? What is it? That AR app where it's in the glasses and you look at people and it makes them smile. Like it just puts a smile on their face.
Oh, is that like for the Smile movie promo, or is that like
No,
someone made that?
Yeah, someone made it. It's like,
oh god,
yeah, they were just like going on like one like the escalator or travelator or something, and everyone that popped by, like they just smile.
I have seen this on like oh my gosh, like on TikTok, they'll use that filter on someone, and it would be like their spouse or something. Their spouse is really mad, but they're like,
okay, I have seen it.
Like, why are you so happy? And then,
or the old angry old lady, I forget what is it? Someone's angry grandma or whatever. These on her a lot of filters. She's like, what are you doing? But she's all happy saying it. I don't know. I love it.
Okay. I'm just throwing this out in the universe. A filter that like makes guys look like the K-drama actors every time I'm talking to them. That would be so like, I'm just putting that out there. If you want to do that kind of filter,
I guess the dubs would be really good.
Adam's like, wow, yeah,
these are legit dubs.
Yeah. Oh god, that'd be hilarious. So yeah, anyway, I actually am really excited, like much more on like the AR glasses right now. Although when the Quest 3 came out, I was like, it's been a while since like I've been so hyped about something. So in VR,
it's interesting because I feel like more I guess non-VR or people who are having a harder time latching onto VR could probably latch onto glasses first as a work, productivity thing. And then maybe they'll want more after that, or if they, start getting into gaming, because we don't really have any work-based or work priority headsets except for like Apple Vision Pro, and not everybody's got, a ton of moolah.
This wasn't part of our plan for today.
We're going on a tangent.
We are so off tangent at this point. We have talked about everything except what we're supposed to talk to, but that is okay.
I like it.
So wait, it's been a couple months since the Apple Vision Pro has come out. I don't know. What do y'all think about it?
I still see people posting about it, which is good, I guess. But I might be biased because I'm in the VR circles on Twitter with Vivian.
I think it looks cool, but how is the meeting, like when you're like sitting there? I saw
a presence
guys, like,
thing.
Yeah, like
I haven't tried that yet.
Okay, but it looks very uncanny valley, but people seem to really like it.
I haven't tried it yet. I know I should try it. I'm not meeting with anybody. I use my Apple Vision Pro to just be in my own little world and not talk to anybody.
Drama, I got it.
Yeah, and you know what else? I've been doing this, like I've been just trying random things. So there's this app, I think it's called Widgets, and you can just put random things around you. So I have like my K-drama playing in the middle and like a big screen, and then I'll have like my calendar and like a retro clock and just like random things around me, and it's just like your work. It's almost like a bulletin board. I'll have like photos like there. Yeah, it's really cute, and it's just, I don't know. It feels like a bulletin board, I guess, except you can have a movie playing. So that's been good.
Isn't like Quest supposed to have something not like work related, but like their augments where you could put stuff around you in mixed reality? Like,
we want augment.
I just want to be a sim and I want to decorate my virtual real life house with fake things.
I know. Let me live. This is taking way too long to be able to do that.
Well, have you used Figment to draw things around your house? Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, I did. I think my friends in the chat, I made like a Ghostbuster thing with the smoke, so it looked like it was in the.
Can you share the things that you make in Figment to your friends?
Yeah, I don't have any skill, but
I was just making like a recording of it. Although it didn't export. My daughter, she put it on and she was going to town, and I was like, oh, she's really enjoying it. And then I got in the headset and it was just this big note that says, Mom, can you call me out of first and second period? Like, I was like, okay, well.
That is really clever.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, whatever. Oh,
she got her in the headset. Yeah. I love that. But yeah, Figment's pretty cool. I've only used it a couple times. I feel like my artistic skills gone down, so I just upload other people's art to enjoy and pretend like I made it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You're really artistic with your cosplay and all that stuff, so I wouldn't say you weren't.
That's old Adam. I mean, I still like that, but I just don't have time, and the money, like all of the materials too, and then all the wasted
yeah, that's
materials
true.
when you mess up, and it's like, I guess this $50 thing's just going in the trash because I made a oopsie. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still fun. But we all have our expensive hobbies, I suppose, or
Like VR.
Yeah, you guys just talking about the
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro.
The most expensive hobby.
I don't have one.
Yeah. I like, like I said, I'm trying, it's interesting because you don't play games on it. So I mean, at least I don't play games on it. So you really have to just think of it as like an alternative to your laptop / TV. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I join like Discord meetings sometimes, and then yeah, but you can't play games. I have tried playing games. You have to do the pinch thing, and it's just I don't. Yeah, it's not
You
my
know, it
favorite.
could be better.
Like I'm like, why would I want to play games like this? I just don't get it.
What about that?
I'm like,
Beat
why do I just
Saber
play in
with the
VR?
fingers? Have you seen that one? I think it was like just AR glasses though. It was like Beat Saber, just like little cubes running, and then you're just chopping it with your hands. Have you seen that?
Was that on the Quest? I think that was like
Or maybe it was the Quest, but I know
some
it was
kind of
like
side-loaded thing.
yeah, okay,
Oh,
I remember
interesting.
seeing that though. I think
Yeah,
someone was
I
playing it
do
on the
remember
plane.
yeah,
Or something.
All right,
But-
so back to our topics.
Oh, right.
We were talking about GDC. I think you had some questions for me, Adam.
Yes. So I think this was pretty much starting at the same time of GDC. Like it was a
It's
mutual announcement. But I have questions, ma'am. A lot of you may have heard about this thing called Flat to VR. Of course, a lot of awesome modders that are bringing flat games to VR. But now they've recently announced Flat to VR Studio, which is going to be dedicated and working more closely with game developers into bringing their games into VR. Not like a mod, but actual, proper integration. And I'm assuming you're behind this. Like, how did this even first? Okay, I have so many questions, but I'll start off with first. How did Impact Reality even sort of start getting involved with the Flat to VR community? Like, where did this start?
Well, you see, you guys know Elliot Tate. He runs the Flat to VR community, but he's like a big marketing person in the VR space. He like helped launch. He built up the Beat Saber modding group. Like he did that, and then he also helped launch Synth Writers, Zenith, Supernatural. He's been on the marketing team for some of the biggest apps around. And when he heard that there were other people that's just not just him doing marketing in the VR space, which is Impact Reality, we talked like sometime earlier last year, and we were just like, why don't we just join forces and just do marketing together? And that's kind of how it all started. So now he's part of Impact Reality now. And he just also started and ran Flat to VR community. And initially we were only talking and working together in the capacity of PR and marketing. But as we worked together and, we could just talk about Flat to VR here and there. And as we kept talking, we're like, man, why don't we do this? Why don't we effing do it? and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started. That's how we got involved.
I don't know how, like, man, Impact and now another, like a whole, excuse my language, a whole ass studio. Like that's a lot. But I know you probably can't tell me, like, have you gotten a lot of response yet from Flat developers? Like, you don't have to say specifically any names, but like if there's numbers or like, a couple, 3.
We are definitely talking to a number of interested parties. Vivian, don't just drink your drink as I say that. She's like, oh, do tell.
Yeah.
So there's definitely interest. There's definitely interest. Mm-hmm.
Well, because I think the problem is a lot of Flat studios just don't want to, spend the manpower taking their developers out and being able to convert all this stuff, and they could just hire you guys to do it, But you actually have source access, which would be easier.
And it's tough too, because like, okay, I always give this example, but if you're used to developing for flat screen or 2D applications, all of a sudden having to start developing for VR is just, you really have to untrain yourself in the flat aspect. For example, like what I've seen is people that do flat and then try to do VR is maybe they'll have like a menu that pops up in the game, just like a regular menu, and then you try to pick it up, but you can't pick it up because it's just you I don't know, they just didn't think about it. And then you're like, well, okay, then I'll just try to press the buttons because obviously I'm in VR. But no, you can't press the buttons even if they're right in front of you. You have to use like a pointer and then click. Like it's like those simple things that just seem so normal and flat world that doesn't make any sense in VR. And so that's what, that's when people try to do it and they don't have the expertise in VR, meaning they haven't been playing VR for a gazillion hours, the porting doesn't work as well.
I can see that. Like a big pet peeve of mine is when they give you floating HUDs, but you're not like in an Iron Man suit. So it's like, why would I just have a floating thing around my face? Like, what is this? I mean, it makes sense for modders because they don't have access to, that kind of depth. But I feel like when I don't want to name names, but there's a couple that I could think of. They're just making a VR version of their game, and you just have flying health and stamina bar, but it's like, why? This doesn't make any sense.
Unless I'm Iron Man, why is that there? Yeah.
Well, that's like with any game that like chess or like when they did Catan, and not knocking on these specific games, but like when they bring in a game that's like, okay, now you just put the headset on and play it just like you would, like make it animated, make something like pop up and, or something like that, just to make it a little bit more like the purpose
VR.
of VR. Yeah,
exactly. So
God forbid. Yeah, let me grab things. Like that's a big thing. I don't want to click to pick things up. I have hands. I can use them. Hate that too. I feel like this is the flat rant of all the things we hate about poor ports.
But yeah, so a lot of my time has been spent. I'm actually producing the first title that we have, and it is a lot of work. It is so much work having to just like rally the troop and be like, okay, where are we now and what are we doing? And so maybe I shouldn't have said that because now if it's not good, it's going to be my fault. But it will be good. I promise. I'm working my best. I'm doing my best.
So there's probably some people who might recognize a lot of the flat to VR modders, but who's, I'm assuming you can say, like, who's officially sort of part of the flat to VR studio on like the modding development side?
We had a press release about this. So we have Kabbalistic who did Half-Life 2 mod, and then we have Rocky Parda who did Outer Wilds and Firewatch, and we have Team Beef who did Doom and Quake and a bunch of others. So some like I honestly, working with these developers, I'm like, you are so smart. I'm very intimidated. I just have to tell them, like, I don't know what I'm talking about with development. Please don't burn me at the stake. I'm doing my best.
Okay, you know more than you're giving yourself credit for. That's funny.
For sure. Yeah, but a lot of times it's like, explain it to me like I'm 5.
That is
I don't understand.
the best. But yeah, it's been really exciting, and there's been, so we announced our press release on Monday of GDC, and we had a booth on the floor, and it was just wild. Like I was running from meeting to meeting. I was barely on the floor because there was just so much interest. And I don't know, I guess there's not too many people doing this, obviously, because if there were, I think we would have heard about them, but everyone's just like, oh, you're doing this? Well, we're not really planning on having a VR team, but it would be cool to see your game in VR. Like, what can we do? And I'm just like, okay. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been good.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't even imagine though, because now at these conventions and events, it's not only, VR people, VR devs, teams you have to reach out to for the impact side, but also anything flat. Now, well, obviously you want ideally good or things that you think are going to do well in VR, but like,
Jesus. I just recently listened to the audiobook Doom Guy. I'm just like I'm reading all these books of the video gaming history because I just need to make sure I know what's going on in the flat world. Like, if I'm talking to someone, like I don't want to look dumb. So I'm doing my research.
Well, they're not
and
going to ask you trivia questions
Yeah.
on like when did the original Doom come out and who was the original graphics designer UI.
Hey, it is always good to do your research before you enter a space.
I like that you come prepared from now on. I'm always just going to quiz you randomly about whatever.
No, don't do that. My memory sucks. And I listen at 3 times speed, so I don't retain a lot of it. I just get the general gist.
Should we switch over to Vivian? Sorry, Jazz.
We totally should, actually.
We had like a bunch of other just in case topics, but we are very chatty Cathy's, and I love it.
No,
There's nothing wrong
I'm
with
sitting
it.
here I was thinking of a 2D game today or a pancake game. I was like, oh, I want to put this in VR. So no, that's what I was thinking of. So anyway,
What is
yes.
it? What would you want to see?
I can't tell you because someone in the chat will laugh at me. So
what?
I'll tell you later.
We won't tell anybody.
Animal Crossing?
Okay, first of all, why would I be embarrassed about Animal Crossing this?
I don't know. Some people are embarrassed about that.
I'm not. No.
Is it porn?
Why would I be embarrassed about porn?
I'm trying to think now. You said it's embarrassing, and now I have to know. You don't have to say. You don't have to say. You can tell us on a message later. But okay. Anyway. So we have the amazing, awesome, extremely tolerant with us, Vivian, and you've been involved in a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to even think about where we start.
Okay.
Maybe with the Hive, like how the Hive used to be an alt space. Rest in peace. How did that start? How did that come together? What was it?
Okay, so Altspace was really known for its events in VR, right? And they had this contest, and it was called "Who Wants to Be a VR Talk Show Host?" And I didn't, but they were like, "The prize is an avatar." So I was like, "Okay, like cool." They're like a personal one, like a personalized one.
It's pretty
So
good.
yeah, so I kind of like just went on because everyone else was doing it too. So I had already done programming in VR, like on like because I worked in like gerontology, so we were doing like some talking about like some of the virtual programs that I do. And so then I did it, and then I made it to like the semifinals or something, and so there was something there, and then to the finals we had to interview what's his name, Steven Hofstadter. He's like the CEO of Laugh Factory or something like that. So then we got in there, and there's like a studio in like VR with an audience, and I was like, yeah, do this in front of people. And I was just like a panel, so I just want the avatar. I don't want to. Anyway, so I won that, and you can go on. It's so like I'm just like so self-deprecating because I'm like, why am I even here? But I probably yeah, anyway, so I won, and then the avatar came with a show, so I had to do that. But then Altspace was going through its like first closure, which was very traumatic. So the guys at VR Chat, this is like back when like VR Chat you could like, it was still like the OG crew and everything. They're like, oh, we heard that like what happened with Altspace, so we want to bring your show over to VR Chat. So they built like a studio there. So I did like I do programming IRL. So I just called all the people that I do programming there that might have like a cross intersection. So I know the author of the novelist who did the novelization of The Walking Dead, Jay Bonansinga, and he like lives nearby. So he came over to my house, and I put him in a headset, and they built like the Walking Dead set. And so that was really fun. So we just did stuff like that where it wasn't really necessarily on gaming. It was just crossover type of stuff, but it was in VR. And then we started doing like really trippy stuff. Like we would put VR inside of VR. Okay, so let me explain. Beat Saber. we ripped the Beat Saber stage. We put that into Altspace, and then a few of us launched Beat Saber and then launched Altspace because Altspace was able to like run on gear, on mobile. So then we were launched both. So our avatars are in there, but we're playing Beat Saber in real life, but our avatars are in Altspace. And so we also had one of the Altspace devs like make us headsets. So we picked the headset that we were wearing and Beat Sabers.
Oh my god!
Like in Altspace, and we were live streaming our POV because we were playing multiplayer. and so we're doing that. And then we did the same thing with Onward, where we live streamed an Onward tournament inside of Suburbia, which is a map, and it was optimized for mobile. So we did a lot of like trippy things like that, where it would stream in Altspace, but we would like hop to other games live and interview people in different shows. So is that. And then as you know, I got sick, and then a lot of people in the VR community like took a show. It was really cool. Like Anna and from Pixel Ripped, she did an episode with Caleb, reality check. So when the VR spies were here, Nick Mitchell picked an episode. So like just people like just kind of picked up the show for me and just like started hosting. Like a few people did something with ProTube. They came in. So it was just really nice. And then since I got into VR esports after that, Nava Berg, she took over the Hive. So she did her own season. So it was the Hive with Nava. And so she did that for a season while I played esports. So that's the Hive. We did a lot of shows, not just the Hive. We did like a gamer focused one with Sad Gamer Dad, and that Cass and Cherry were on that like way back in the day. And then we did like a book club. We did open mic, karaoke, all kinds of different things that now they still exist now, but like not within the Hive anymore. Like they're their own thing. They're doing their own thing. So
You were kind of like the start of, a lot of people sort of
The
wanting
VR
to get
community.
into, like broadcasting or recording or that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Like, if I
so
can-
there were some other cool shows. There's like Gunter's Universe was around, and then High Fidelity also did like it was like a mishmash of like I think it was some of it was like in their pancake version, with another Jasmine, So there was a few. The only thing that was us that we did first was the whole like in VR Inception thing, where it was like live audience inside VR, and then like we put in another game into it, or like
That's
hop into other games
crazy.
at the same time. Yeah, it's really hard to explain. So there's that.
It's just VR Inception. We got it.
yeah, it
A
just sounds. I don't
VR
even know how
game within another VR game.
Yeah, in the VR
Mhm.
game. Yeah, exactly.
like how are you able to put that together? Sounds absolutely nuts. Like I get the
Mhm.
concept, but I'm like, how? And to do how frequently? Like how frequent was this?
With an
Uh,
audience too.
So I did the show. I did it once a week live, and
Jeez.
and I would and then over time I learned a lot of things, because since there were like really no other shows, we kind of wrote the book on how to do a lot of things, which was really cool because there was no other presidents for it, right?
Mhm.
So it was really fun to like kind of figure out like, well, how do we did stuff like we would do a giveaway, like gift card giveaway. So what we did was we would refresh the room and then attach a gift card to a random person in like their avatar, stuff like that, where like we would just like we would like code it in there, like
Oh my
stuff
god.
like that. That was like, and Allspace had really cool technology that I wish they had like continued, which was the mirroring of the rooms, which was like fantastic. So you could have like 1,000 people, but you can't have them all in the same instance. So there's like 10 rooms open, or 20 rooms open. And that was really interesting because they would see you live. You don't see them. But if you wanted them to ask a question, you would just mirror them in and they appeared there.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
yeah. But
Cool.
you do have to like change your expectations. So like if you like tell jokes, okay, people weren't laughing, but I'm pretty sure they were laughing at home. They were just muted. I'm pretty sure I made some good jokes. I'm pretty
You
sure.
need a laugh track.
You gotta keep telling
Yeah.
yourself. They're
Yeah.
probably laughing.
So we did think about that. We had a soundboard behind, like backstage, which was
Mhm.
literally backstage. But it had soundtracks like or it had like our theme song, different sound effects that we would have there. And so it was really cool. And I'll tell you how we did it. People like Shane from SideQuest, he developed a lot of stuff for it. That's why like there's like talented people who would like, okay, yeah, I think we can do that. I mean, I there was like a channel in our Discord called Unreasonable Requests, because I would just ask for very unreasonable things. Like we did a game show, so we had podiums, right? And I was like, can we have a mini podium that comes out of my desk? So and it made a
Whoa.
smaller bell sound. Just stuff like that.
Insane.
Yeah,
I
and
love
like
it.
yeah, we did an episode where I was at Microsoft after they bought Altspace. So I
Mhm.
was live there. So people were in the audience watching live in VR. and then introduced everyone in person, and then we all jumped into headsets and joined on stage, and we played trivia, like a game that, again, we had to translate a lot of these games into VR, like you were talking about. Like when we had Orbis in, we had them play Memory, but it was like so they had to pick the cards, but we had to do damage. So they had a health bar that that attached to their heads,
Wow.
and then we had like if they attacked them, we'd have like a flying arrow coming, at their avatar, just stuff like that. So it was just simple games that we were like, how do we turn this into like a VR like version so we can play it with the audience? Because it's not the same, you don't have cards, you have to like click, you have to load in words and just all kinds of different stuff. But it was very fun for the time, and it was a little too like early for its time, I think, because people are doing stuff now that's like, oh wow, it's like so innovative. I'm like, we already did that. But it was, it doesn't matter that we already did it. We didn't do it at the right time. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that it was there. We had the experience. It's archived. You can go and watch some of it. And it was just a really fun experience. But I did move on from that.
What did you do after?
Esports. I played Onward. I started the Killettos. It was like the first so I went to like OC Oculus Connect back in the day when they were playing like live on stage, and a friend introduced me to one of the players. And okay, so on our Discord, this is so embarrassing. We posted the pictures of everyone on ESL. We're like, oh, he's hot, blah blah blah. We're like ranking him. Okay, so one of the journalists saw this and posted it and Onward, like, hey, these people are like ranking you guys. And I was like, and it wasn't in a mean way. It was just like in a flirty way. So anyway,
about control flirt delete.
so I interviewed them, and then he's like, oh, you should come in and play. Okay, well, I wasn't really into gaming like that. Like I played like board games and stuff like that, and just like games where I don't like die or hyperventilate from blood, And he was like, we'll protect you, which I was like, I will make you guys lose. But now I understand playing. I'm like, if you have like some good people, they can like just carry the whole team, So then I was like, is there like a girls team or anything? And he said there was a few women that played. So I interviewed Edna, who's like the super killer, her husband played. And so then like now like a lot of women played. So we started the Killettos. And then I started working on VRespawn, like the production marketing side of things. So then the Killettos then started to morph into like just a bunch of guys. So there was a time when the Killettos was just like all guys playing. It was fantastic. So and now the Killettos is just there's two people like Kamikaze's in the chat. She plays Pavlov. She's a Killetto. She's also the captain of Unicorn Holers that plays Pavlov, and Vale. And Jasmine, you have this is all that Killettos is. It's such a cool name and such a cool logo. I'm like, I don't want it to go away, So
Agreed.
So it really just like supports like women in all of VR, like VR Rosie, she's an artist, so her heel is like a paintbrush,
so cool.
And it's all it is. Like Zim's wife, she's like, how do I join? I'm like, boom, you're a Killetto. I'm gonna make you a logo. It's just everyone gets like their personalized logo, and it's for fun. And like the three of us were hanging out in Toronto, me, Ashley, and Cammie. So it's just it's
I'm gonna
just
grab
like
something.
Yeah, Anna, she does Anna from Pixel Ripped, Cass and Cherry. They have like their little logo.
Can you talk a little bit more about these logos, because they are really cool, and I think we need to explain it for any audio listeners.
Oh, sure, yeah. So there we go. The logo is it's a heel that is a gun. Actually, I have my jacket.
Stiletto heel.
Maybe it's terrible because it's not focusing right, but they're all so great. Like there's custom ones, custom heels for everybody on it. Mine's like an AK-47. It's so great that
everyone gets to pick. Everyone gets to pick like their favorite weapon. And some people like Ashley. She is the haptic queen, right? So we didn't give her a weapon. We gave her like the haptic, like I don't know how to use the wave, So so we're making it like a little bit like special for everyone. And then we get asked to do like a charity events. So that's really all it is. So if you're a Killetto, like I'll ask you guys first, like, hey, can you guys play Hyperdash or anything like that? It's for charity. And we just get together and play. It's not like a group of people or like, like we're not like exclusive to anything. It's just people who we really like the name. Everyone wants a cool logo. We have jackets and then we hang out and we go to parties and have like girls' nights and stuff. Like it's it's
the
just,
VR Girls Club.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's when I first got when I first joined was during the Population 1 charity stream. I think it was for Extra Life, I want to say, probably. But it was super fun to actually, just play with a bunch of girls. And, we were like serious, but not hardcore. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, we wanted to win to help the people that, donated money to charity and stuff. But it weren't like, there wasn't going to be any angry, like, shit talking. It was all for fun.
You were
it was great.
serious, but not toxic.
Yes,
we're a little toxic. When
fun toxic.
My team I would say like playing esports really made me like a little more aggressive than I would normally have liked to be. So back when I did the interview, the VR Spies, they were like a big podcast back in the day with like Don, VR Gamer Dude, and Reality Check. They were like, Vivian is gonna play Onward. That's crazy. She can't play that, And so they're like, "Can you stream with us?" And I was like, "Okay." So they just like poking fun at me. And so there's like a really fun like stream of us playing where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then I got into it. Like I stabbed one of the guys, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." So
you felt the power,
girl.
Yeah. And so then I started playing more and more, and at this time I was like I had just finished chemo like months earlier than that, and it was really like it was a very, very intense like radiation and all that stuff, and I just kind of wasn't the same because I worked at like high level like strategic planning and all that in my previous job, and so it was like really like high level thinky stuff all the time, and I just kind of wasn't like there anymore. I was, but not at the same level. So when I played this game, it was like I was brand new. I didn't have to know anything. No one was gonna ask me, to like, how do you do this? I don't know. So people were teaching me. They were like, patient with me, and then like you just had 6 minutes to like achieve this goal, and you just die and then do it again, and then you just do it again. So it really helped me like focus my mind again, which was really cool. And the people were pretty cool. Yeah, So and I see there's some questions in here about VR. When do you think esports will mix with real sports? I wish it'd be sooner, actually. Do you guys have a question specifically about VR esports or anything before I like dive in?
So, Vivian, you're so funny. You're such a caster. You're like,
I love her.
The podcast. You're just like, and hang on, we have some questions in the chat.
I
this is my podcast. I can't remember.
No, I think it was just general, like what your opinions are. Jazz and I don't have too much experience with VR esports. So kind of like the very brief history plus, where maybe things are now and where you see things going. I don't know if it's a big loaded question, but you're
tell us everything about the history of VR esports.
Okay, sure. Okay, done. Okay, it's very different from when I started in that Echo is no longer around, which is insane. It is so insane because that is the biggest esports community. Like it had like the most players, and it was a really I played Milsim, so it wasn't as fun for me to watch, but like anyone can join in, watch it, and understand what's happening, and so like that took a really big dive, and Onward is my game, right? But when the Quest came out, I'm so sorry to say this, but it just had to lower the quality of the game because we had to accommodate or they had to accommodate me. Accommodate the Quest, and it sucked because it kind of ruined like some competitive integrity. Like we would see like if you're on PC, you would see like textures, like more textures. But on Quest, they wouldn't have that on there, so it'd just be like an open window.
Oh,
So then they're like, well, so they can see right through things, and we couldn't.
advantages. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also there's that advantage of like
Shady.
the lag, which was an advantage,
Mm,
which is really, it's really dumb. Which is like that's with any esports though. There's like ways to like that people cheat and stuff like that. In general, I'm not talking about like specifically in Onward or anything, but in general, there's like that kind of stuff where it's offline. I mean, like you're not live. So when you go to a LAN event and play, it's like you can see like, okay, like who really is good. So to me, like I wasn't doing anything tricky, so I
mhm,
felt like I would probably play better live because you can see that I'm doing everything that everyone else is doing.
mhm,
So you can like, you have to kind of like think about that, like yeah, it might be awesome, I might be doing a little like shady things a little bit here and there, but is it gonna work if you're at a LAN event?
mhm,
So there's a little bit of that, and so I kind of like didn't want to play anymore because it just was like it was really difficult because
mm,
it just wasn't the same level. But I still go back and play with like my teammates every once in a while, like my old team and everything. And now that Summer, she's like starting like this whole like girls assault league, or more like getting more women to play. Like I kind of like want to join in and just kind of like, I don't know, play again. I'm terrible though when I play on the quest. Like I just like feel like I'm like I need to be
The
tethered.
toy.
Yeah,
You need to be
yeah.
what?
I need
Tethered.
to be like tethered,
Oh.
and
Well, yeah, from what you're saying, it sounds like ever since standalone really became a thing, it kind of disrupted the even playing field and introduced a lot of like unfairness, I suppose, not intentionally. And yeah, and it sounds like you're saying that when you play in person and these LAN events, it's a lot better. But I feel like there were more events, like in-person events before, and then COVID happened. Is that?
yes, actually, we had a live event that we were going to do. It was with Ryan and at
Mhm.
Val, and it was going to be in Salt Lake, and people were going to play. It was, I think, Pistol Whip or something, right? No, I'm
Mm.
pretty sure it was Pistol Whip. So we were going to do like a whole like event, and people would come into it, and then it was literally supposed to happen March 2020. That's when everything like shut down.
Oh
So
man.
like, luckily,
Yeah.
like VRespawn, like we were like a part of it. So, and I
Mhm.
work with Kier, you might know him as Poonanners, and he is amazing. He's like a wizard. So we just like transferred everything into like virtual. Like
Mhm.
we just, we beamed in Nightfire, and it looked like he was like right there, right next to him. We sent like if they didn't have already, because our streamers had to have like mixed reality set up. So if they didn't have it set up, we would send them things so that we could film them
Wow.
like and so we saved that tournament, and it was really cool. Like, so we were just able to do everything virtually, which is the cool thing about working in tech in general. I would love to do more like live events. I know
Mm.
VRML has one in June coming up, and
Oh,
I know
cool.
Vail had that really big one in Florida.
Mhm.
And with me, VRespawn is working with VR Villa, and they're like this large like arcade operation that goes to all these different cons, like anime cons, and like a dream hack and that kind of thing, where like we would get like a big section. And actually, Jay Brad, who was in the chat earlier, he did like, he casted, I think, in an event with
Oh.
Poonanners at DreamHack. And it's really cool because they work with a lot of different devs. Meta just gave us a bunch of headsets, and like Boba VR like gave us like just like accessories and
Accessories.
yeah, all kinds of
Mhm.
different stuff. And it's cool because we're going to places that aren't necessarily, they're not like VR related, but there might be people who like VR. I mean, if you go to AnimeCon, you know what you want to do with them, right? You put them in VR
Mm.
chat, right? So that kind of thing. But like,
Mhm.
it's kind of, I'm kind of like sad because VR esports didn't take off the way that I think it had the potential to,
Mhm.
and it still hasn't yet, but I still think that it can. It's just, it's so cool because it's such a great ecosystem for everyone to get involved. Like literally everyone in VR could do something, like even if it's just
Mhm.
like sitting in the audience and cheering people on, right? We have players, we have developers, we have marketers, we have like hardware, software, all kinds of different things where people could really get involved, and it looks cool, or it can look cool.
Mhm.
I
You
don't know
guys
about
make it
you.
look cool.
But I play in heels, so I don't know. That's ridiculous. Okay, but
So
you know what I mean?
what do you think it will take to, like what is missing right now in VR esports that's preventing it from taking off the way that you were envisioning?
It's really well, a few things. One, at LAN events, it's a lot easier to control the equipment. But
Mhm.
when you're at a LAN event, you have people in headsets, and then this is back before it was like with the Quest and everything, where you had to set up the like the
The
lighthouse,
cable
yeah,
play
or
Oh
systems.
man, the
exactly, yeah,
lighthouse.
right, and
Whew.
all of that stuff. So there's that, and then like there was an event that ESL did. It was like I think it was in Poland. I mean, Poland, and then there was one in London. I can't remember which one, but they used like it was like the most basic you could use for VR. It was like a 1060,
Oh.
3 GB, something like that. It was just, and then you're
Oh.
and so there was like a huge delay because they put them like under the stage. So then it was like, okay,
Oh
well,
no.
if you're overheating, so that kind of stuff. It's very like intensive. You have a lot of equipment, and so I think there's that, and there's just not enough people watching it. There's people who
Yeah.
wanna play it, but I don't think, like, the games are popular enough where people can, like, watch it, like, with League of Legends, like, I don't know if you guys play League of Legends, but,
Mhm.
you kinda, like, have to
I love League.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to, like, know the game, right, when you're watching
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
look how popular it is. It has,
Okay. But
concerts and all
like
that stuff.
people watch like baseball, and like honestly, when I say people watch baseball in person, they're not really watching. They're just eating hot dogs and chatting with their friends. Like who's
Yeah, they're there
actually
for the
watching
beer.
baseball and paying attention?
Yeah,
No.
that's
But I mean,
true.
baseball's dying, even though that's the best comparison. But like, I don't know. But everyone knows baseball for the most part. You hit the thing with the bat, go on the bases, and there's the guy who catches it and they get out. But I guess when it comes to shooters, there's like different modes, like capture the flag things or weird
Yeah.
King of the Hill, like different
Yeah,
styles that normies.
there's some other cool games though that are out there now. I know like there's like tennis, they're doing like some esports stuff. Last on I think
Oh, that's true.
Breachers started like
Hmm.
in a league and stuff like that. So it's cool that people want to add that like competitive element. I
Mhm.
don't know exactly what I mean. I think it's the same trouble that anyone in your audience right now or with you guys might struggle with is getting people interested who aren't already your audience, right? Because
Well,
you need people to buy the tickets to go and watch it.
Yeah.
yeah, well, like, we just got an interesting question in the chat. Is there a VR baseball game? And to that note, like, I actually know someone who plays competitive cricket in VR every single day. Like, he says that if he doesn't play at least 30 minutes of VR cricket, it like throws off his day, and he's like in the top 100 worldwide. So
What?
there are,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
there's sports, and I mean, you could play VR sports that
Yeah, for
aren't
sure.
necessarily something that's complicated. So, and I do know that like what's it called? 11 table tennis does competitions.
Yeah,
So
there's
I just
a lot of the games like Hyperdash, Triangle
mhm,
Factory, like they just started off with their own league. So Hyperdash League is like its own thing. They didn't join like an existing league to have them do any of that. And with VRespawn, like we like to do the production, the setup, and casting. That's kind of like our thing is like the casting and bringing in people who know how to do mixed reality. And we had like Pesky Cashew, who's like he could play anything, right? So we were like,
mhm.
oh yeah, we challenged the devs of Pistol Whip to like compete with. They're like, you can't compete with us. We made the game. We're like, watch us. So anyway, so just kind of stuff like that.
Mhm,
That so we don't do any of the like the league handling, but we work with leagues
mhm,
and just trying to like get people excited. So you kind of have to like explain the game, and then like well, we're doing boxing. I mean, that's like a real thing.
mhm.
I'm gonna cast like the high school games of Outrun Digital. They do high school heroes. So they play with high school leagues. So I'm gonna cast one of theirs, and they do
There's
virtual championship.
high school VR leagues. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, high school VR leagues.
What?
Yeah,
What are you
and it's
talking
all a part
about?
of they're like it's all like it's like a part of like STEM and everything.
What?
It's really cool. It's at Title I schools. They get, quests sent to the schools. The teachers are like coaches.
What?
These are
This
all high
is
school.
blowing my Adam, did you know this?
I like how she's like, oh, I don't really do much in VR anymore. And then there's like all of this stuff.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like
Shut
earlier,
up, Vivian.
I said I feel like
It was a
Amon,
secret.
it's okay. You need that shirt because Wait, okay. Did you know this though, Adam? That there's like VR leagues in high schools that compete? Is that what I'm
yes,
hearing?
slightly, but I didn't know Vivian was actually part of it, so that's fun. Because I'm definitely familiar with Outrun Digital, and what they're trying to do with bringing more headsets into schools, but I didn't know so much about the like competitive side and Vivian's involvement. So that's really cool.
Yeah, tell us
makes me happy.
more because I really do think that once basically all the children, all the youngins now that play VR as they get older and they start having kids, and I don't know if that's actually going to happen because we're older and most of us are not having kids. So, but as they get older and have kids, theoretically, that's when VR will be mainstream. That's what everyone's been saying, right? Like so it's interesting. Yeah, tell me more about what the children are doing with VR.
Kids, young people.
Well, esports in general, like you can like major in that now, and like schools like they like
you can major in what?
Esports.
No way.
Yeah, go to China and check it out. Yeah, it's
I'm so confused. This is so not my realm. And I actually did research before this. I talked to I know you guys are making fun of me, but
I'm
not.
I talked to VR Central for like 30 minutes earlier today. I was like, tell me everything you know about esports. I'm gonna sound stupid, and I still sound stupid. Anyway, go on.
You don't sound stupid. You're just asking questions. That's fine. Let me tell you something about hosting. You're supposed to ask questions. That's all.
That's what we have Vivian here for. Yeah, she can give us all the answers.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy it.
Well, the Outrun Digital they have high school heroes, and that's at Title I schools. So that's like schools that have like a certain level of income. It's like on the lower bracket. So they get headsets, right? And they have like teachers will be coaches. So high schools now they have like esports teams that like they'll play like other games like Rocket League and stuff like that. Well, we're trying to get more VR esports into it, like and that's its own thing, right? And colleges some of them are starting to build like VR labs, that kind of thing. We did one like in Houston, like they opened up a VR lab, so we went down there to kind of like check it all out and stuff like that. And so they want to do like these events, right? And it's not totally there, but it's still something that's like it's happening, and it's like getting people involved, and it's cool. Like if you're in high school and you can like sign up for it, and the cool thing about it being in high school is that it's much more regulated, which is like something I'm always fighting for in esports, is like regulation of like for safety for other people like playing, and just for like things like thwarting like cheating, anything like that. That's just like makes it more of like a safe, more regulated. I know like not regulation, but it's for the safety of people and players.
Yeah,
but in high school, it's like who the players are, the coaches, so it's much more of like a friendlier like type of environment, so to speak.
Yeah. Vivian's like I always say, regulation.
Man, remember this when I was in high school? That would be so cool. Like we didn't have even.
So cool.
We had the
flat
chess
video
club.
games.
Come on.
About that. You know what? Yeah, I've heard about colleges having XR clubs now because my college I graduated from has one, and I've been meaning to contact their president so I can donate all my VR accessories that I don't use anymore because I have a ton.
Oh, good
so
idea.
if you have stuff, you should probably donate it to your local college or.
Well, there is CVRE, which is the collegiate level of esports, and they do at different colleges, and they're a cool group too. But they do things like Beat Saber, so it's like
what?
a little bit more approachable.
I want to compete. I'm going back to college.
Go back to college. And I would say, okay, this is like a little bit of a side tangent, but I'll say it here so it's out there. One of the things that I hear all the time is like people complaining at leagues that we should lower the age of people to participate, because it was like 16, but back when VR was just getting started, it was people who could like afford it. It was expensive, so it was like adults, and you kind of felt weird when like someone came in with like they were like a kid, and you're like, oh my god, what there's a kid in here. But now everyone can like afford to play it, right? But I wish that there were still leagues that were like for an older crowd. But then what you would get is like the younger kids being like, we should be able to play too. This is so unfair. And then there would be adults who are like simping to these teens, like, yeah, well, I play with this one teen and they're really mature and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. Like there were some kids, but there was less the mature ones were far and few. Okay, so it was not the norm. And then when they were having this argument, I said, okay, listen. If you're in high school, you have a high school league, and you also get to get older. So then you can join other leagues. We cannot get younger, like we can't go back to high school. This isn't Billy Madison.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
my dreams of joining the Speed Saber competition.
You get to get older.
Yeah, you get to get older, and you can join other leagues. So I wish that they would like focus a lot more on like.
Yeah.
They started to. They
Makes
started
sense,
like I think it was like a beer league, so it was like 21 and up kind of thing. It was PC only. That kind of stuff.
Honestly, it's not fair to have younger people like competing with older people because they have more energy. And honestly, my shoulders and my joints just can't keep up with the kids like they used to. It's
so physical in VR. Yeah, it's like not.
Yeah, it is physical. Exactly. Like that's really unfair.
It is physical, but this is partly why I liked playing Onward. Like, some of our players, they played like Pavlov, which is like CS:GO, and it's a lot faster and that kind of stuff. With Onward, it's a slower game, right? It's like 5 minutes or 6 minute rounds, depending. And it's so people are like, it's so slow. You just like it's like hide and seek with guns, basically, is what it is. But I wasn't particularly good at like shooting or anything. Again, this is not really my realm. And also, I was very shaky after like chemo, so I was like, okay, it's not going to be shooting. That's not going to be my thing. But it was more about like making plays and trying to like read your enemy, and like your opponent, trying to like figure out like how do you get the advantage. And that's the kind of fun thing about competition, and that's why I like doing shoutcasting, because you're analyzing like on a higher level, not just like they're shooting out and blah blah, all this stuff. It's like
all the tactics.
What are they thinking? What's their strategy? How are they going to like maintain like their energy? How are they going to like like maybe like throw off the opponent? Anything like that. That's like the extra layer of competition. And that's what I really like. So that's kind of like where my fallback was like, all right, well, maybe I can't shoot you, but I can, make a play to like, get to the objective in 30 seconds or something like that. That was like the fun part for me.
That's cool because you get to think outside the box that way. Like everybody, I mean, I'll say this like it's easy. Anybody can shoot, but it takes that extra.
True.
Well,
that is not true.
In the base form, I didn't say anyone can shoot good, but everybody can shoot. But to actually have some kind of plan or strategy outside of I'm just going to shoot everybody, is I feel like a lot more. It takes a lot more skill and a lot more dedication. So big props. I just pew pew and then die.
Blair asked the question, what would be your ultimate VR esport game if you could design it? Do you guys have a game that you're like, I would watch that, I would play that?
This is not esporty at all, but I would love to watch just some kind of nutcase like survival VR game where you just put a bunch of people in a survival crafting game, but it's one life, and
cool.
Kind of like Survivor, but in a VR situation. So not really esporty, but
like reality TV-ish.
Kind of, yeah.
That would be so cool. I would love to see that. Who we could get into there? Z-Storm. He's been known to stay in VR for long amounts of time doing survival games. Then J-Brat did that one time when J-Brat did 10 days in VR where he even slept in VR. He could be, we got to find all those people that have spent like 24 hours plus in VR and then just put them all into a survivor game. That would be sick.
But like, how would they survive? I mean, no one's dying, right?
Well,
they're not chomping on a lollipop or corn dogs.
No, I mean, they obviously want them to die in real life. I guess.
Then it's not fun, Adam. I don't know what this is.
I'm talking about like the in-game mechanics. So maybe you die of starvation, dehydration, some kind of creature, animals kill you, like you drown. I don't know, like stupid basic survival things. But hopefully ideally the player would be taking care of the
clip just what she said, just that with no context, please. That would be great.
Okay, well maybe that would be the risk. Like, when you have to do those bathroom breaks or eating, you're out somewhere and you have to hope that you have to find a good spot to kind of like AFK for a little bit. Otherwise, because if you die in game, you're out of the competition. You have to strategize how to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Nikita said, I volunteer as tribute. This could be like Hunger Games. Someone recreate Hunger Games in VR.
And I'm sure there's some kind of battle royale out there that's like kind of like that, no?
That'd be a cool competition.
Like a
My
long-term
answer
one.
was completely different from yours, Adam. Mine was gonna be I just want to watch like a dance dash competition or something where everyone's
that'd be
dancing in
cool.
VR, doing cool, and like it would be even cooler if instead of just like stepping to the beats, if there was a way for you to create cool like oh what's it called like animations, maybe like if you do your hands in this way, it creates like special particles or effects, and if you can create the best show for people while also scoring the highest.
Ooh, so it's almost like Dancing
Like a
with the
talent show.
Stars,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like you don't have to necessarily be the high. I mean, skills will probably help, but you
But the
can have the
flair,
extra
it's
added
the
effects.
flair.
Yeah.
It's the flair that we care about. That would be cool. Because I mean, maybe because I follow too many Beat Saber and rhythm people, but my Instagram feed is full of um of dances. And every time I'm like, dang, I should be playing this. But then
It's
I have
good.
to think about base stations and I'm like, nah, never mind. I guess I'm not playing it.
Well, I mean, okay, so to answer Blair's question, I like Onward, obviously, for the reasons I had mentioned, but like I'm not really like a I don't like blood, and there's not really blood in Onward. It looks just like ketchup, like packaged, just like you know. So that's great, but I would do something kind of similar to that because, like I said, like Onward is like hide and seek with guns, but I like the concept of it, right? Is like you're trying to get into an area that's protected and you're putting in a code. Well, something like that still is like it's fun to watch because basically you're watching people. How do we distract this other group? You know, how do I like
That does sound fun.
and yeah, and then the people who are defending, they're like, where do I hide my body? You know, and like where's the best part? Where will they not look? And that kind of stuff that's like that's it's fun to analyze because you're like trying to think like, oh, why are they thinking like that? And that's kind of interesting. And then it's also like, you know, it makes your heart race so much. It's so scary sometimes when you're playing because people know I don't like scary games. And someone was like, you play Onward. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it gets kind of scary sometimes when you're playing Onward because it's other live people like hunting you or something.
Anxiety.
That
Yeah.
sounds terrifying. I would cry.
We should
actually don't-
play.
I don't do like public like PvP battle royale type games often because I just get that over anxious, like, you know, other people are going to think I suck. I do suck. What if other random people are just complete dicks? So I usually, if I do play those kinds of games, always with people I know. Like it's been a long time when I just played a random game with randoms.
The key is to play with people that will carry you.
You
And
definitely have to
I'll
do that.
heal you. I'll just stay back and I'll make sure you survive. You know what? When I used to play Population 1, it was so funny. They were like, people on the other team swore that I was bait because I was so bad. And they were like, no, don't do it. That she's just bait. And then like eventually my team was like, yeah, actually, you don't want you to go out there. I will revive you, but just lure them out because I was so bad.
That is a valid position. So.
I thank you, Vivian, and I did great at it. I was doing it even before they asked me to. It was so good.
I did that on purpose.
You can do the whole like, guys, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. Someone help me.
Yeah, well,
Hyperdash. You are not new. We played with you so many times.
Hyperdash has a whole ladies, you know, like ladies who dash group, and they just play with they play in like their own like private server and stuff like that. Which I agree with you. It is like. It's much better. I always enjoy playing when it's just like an all girls lobby, and then like the one guy who's like, you know, we need him.
Honorary woman.
Yeah. Oh, we call them brolettos. So
brolettos.
Yes, I love it.
It's so good. Wait, okay. So if there's like ladies that are listening to this podcast and they're thinking, oh man, well I can play with all these other ladies. Like, how did they find the groups?
Well, the Killettos, we're on X, we're on Facebook, Instagram. You can like, I don't know, like go to my Twitter and DM me. And just type in the Killettos and see where we are. Yeah, just DM me. People DM me all the time. They like want a logo, or they ask if we could like get a group together to play for like their event or something. So yeah, just contact us and see what we're playing because we play all kinds of different things, you know, like I said, not everyone likes shooters, right? Because some people get nauseated from the movements, but they'll play something else. Like we really like to play a mini golf, and that's competitive ish, you know. Like, this
I
is
Really?
fun.
You do
I
mini
love
golf
that.
competition?
Invite us, girl.
Check your inbox, ma'am.
Yeah, and it's all of a sudden gonna have all those like messages from Vivian.
Well, you know what? I got one of those sticks, even like so you could just stick the controller
The
in, like it's
sticks.
the club.
Oh, of
I,
course.
like, I know there's a formal
Stick.
name for it, but it's a stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Because I used to put like a weighted thing,
Mhm.
Okay, this is you should never be embarrassed, by the way, because I do the stupidest stuff in VR. Like when I played mini golf, I was like, "This golf club is too big. It's too long. I can't play with this. Why they don't accommodate for short people like me and all this stuff." And like, and then they're like, "Well, just like angle it down." Like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know it was like automatic. I was just like, I was getting all
Holding
upset.
it
And I'm
up.
like
It's-
throwing it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. There's nowhere for you to adjust this. So just stuff like that.
But
that I would do.
someone made a very valid comment. Brandon said, "Don't get that neck pain and walkabout mini golf." And like the neck pain and the physical requirements to endure even just a golfing game in New York is real. It is so real.
Well, and you only need one controller, which is nice. So if you I don't know, if one dies, you could just swap it out to the other one. No big deal, which I love.
So yeah, you just like position yourself because obviously I have to be careful with like things on my neck. So the audience knows I had a stroke, so it was like a big deal for me and how I handled it with my neck too. But when you see like in game, like in a shooting game, when people are like prone and you're like, oh, that means they're prone in real life. Well, there's like a way that a lot of players go down and they leave their legs up, so they're not actually like prone, but their body, their model is. And it's the same thing with golf, where sometimes like I'll just like lower myself, and because it's adjustable, you just like go down a little bit lower when my neck is like not feeling it. Because I totally agree, it can be a strain. You definitely have to like figure out like the best way to like maneuver.
You know what I use is in Demio, you can tilt the table, and it made me nauseous at first, but like it is so much better for my neck. So I'm just like playing a board game like at a 45-degree angle. No
I do the
biggie.
same thing.
But also, why isn't there a Demio/Demio battles like esports event? I think I would watch that.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad that you're saying this and it's on stream and we have witnesses, because we will do that then. Because we like, I love casting, but I don't do it anymore. Like as much as, unless people it's like for a special event or when it's like in season or something. And I would love to do that, but like with just like the Killettos, because it's more fun and it's not necessarily like competitive, like all out. It might
Cash
be just, like, for
prizes
charity.
and-
Yeah. Well, cash prize is nice. Blair
Yeah,
can,
wait,
you know.
Anna, what do you have against cash prizes?
Well, I mean, I'm not against
Where's the
cash,
budget?
but
Wait
people
a
get
minute.
crazy for money. So hold on. That's when the claws come out.
Yeah, so I will do many like events like that, because we've been trying to do a Killettos one and walkabout. I mean, we go in there and play, but I just haven't like casted one yet. And I want to cast a game that's like not really something that you would cast. Like maybe we'll get people into play, like do like, open brush or something, or Figment, and be like, what are they drawing? Or something, something like
That
that.
would be so funny.
I like that.
Yeah, you're just like
That's so cool.
narrating what they're doing. Like, and yeah, because people are like curious, and sometimes like the streamer is doing something, they're really into it, and they're not able like to talk. So that's kind of like the fun part of being a caster, is you get to watch other people do stuff and be productive, and you're just talking about it.
Like the way that you guys did the Population 1 stream was beautiful. I was like, this is high quality shit. And this is
the Killettos
like,
one?
Yeah, when you're flipping back and forth between, our different perspectives, and you had our icons in the corner, and like it was so dang professional looking. I was like, I think I loved it so much. I think I saved the VOD somewhere on one of my hard drives, 'cause I didn't want to lose it in case Twitch, did something stupid. But it was so good. Like I loved it.
Shout out to VRespawn that does that. Yeah. So
That's backwards, but you get the point.
Yeah. We couldn't figure out how to flip you. I'm sorry.
okay. Yeah. Anyway, does that answer your questions on esports?
I think so. So I feel like, when do you think VR esports will be on the same level as League of Legends? I feel like someone needs to do something where like have a Super Bowl of VR esports, and then we can all just like get together. It should be at some time when there's already an event going on, like maybe the weekend, like a day before the event that's happening, where everyone's already flown to the same location, and then you just rent out like a big place where everyone just watches this competition together, and then we
Yeah.
order like fries and beer and scream.
Okay, so
And
that's
what they do.
okay. So, like I said on Twitter when we were talking about this, that we should get like another Killettos like get together. That's what I want to do. I want to get like a bunch of us and just like everyone bring their quests, you
And
know.
Brolettos? What about the
and the
Brolettos?
Yeah, they can come and hold our bags or something. I don't know. Kind of stuff. So and so like,
But wait, Vivian, but what if we have that KDrama filter? Is that allowed then?
oh my god, okay. I can't handle the distraction. Especially Esquiva, he's in chat. He's so tall. I'll be like, he's so tall.
He'd be the tallest Korean guy ever.
You
Yes.
gotta shave your beard and give
Oh,
you
okay.
a really nice facial so your skin's all glowing.
Oh no.
Man, the stuff that I come up okay, I just use I'm control flirt delete. Okay, this is why I come up with this kind of stuff. Okay, but yes, so we have everyone would bring their headsets. We'll like rent out a big Airbnb or something, and just it'll be fun. Like we could like cast it. We could also, I mean, like
Oh, that sounds so
everyone
fun.
here has so much experience already with I mean, mixed reality. We have people who know how to do shit. We'll get Ashley, the haptic queen, to like hook us up with stuff that's like vibrating.
This is gonna turn out to be a pretty fun
When I
party.
said that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This girl's trip, let's take a turn. I meant like haptics. But
She knows a thing or two about vibrations. Good
okay,
vibrations.
the amount of time that we've been trying to
vibes
get
only.
Ashley to do a like haptic bracelet for us that we can like zap each other with on air, so we could like tell each other like,
Ooh.
or
like a light taser. Like it's not tasering because it's not using like an electric currency, but it's fun
like
little
an Apple
buzz.
it's a gentle like buzz kind of a thing. Anyway, but okay, so to answer your original question, I don't know that it will get to like League of Legends level for a while. I think it's just I just don't know because we're just not getting that crowd. It's so like it's so niche, and then when I think of like how the potential, and other people are like, you're so right, there's so much potential. Like everyone should ask themselves this: have you competed in VR? Like there are leagues out there, right? And if people have asked you to compete, have you, and would you? Because I know some, I won't name who they are, I don't mean this in a mean way. I've asked some streamers and they're like they don't want to compete on stream or like even for like an event because they have like an image that they want to portray and they don't want to compete. And I totally get that, but you should ask yourself that. And then like if there's an event for a game that you don't play, are you going to go watch it? Like would you go and buy tickets to go watch someone play a game that you don't play or know anything about or have any interest in playing? Like
if there was good food and drinks.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Fun.
That's what I'm talking about. Like I'm trying to get like an event where it's like it's not just that. It is like it's
a party.
Yeah, but there's other games. Like we should have like I totally think we should get like people who are dancers or really good like at Beat Saber, and they could like do it like a choreographed one. I mean, that'd be really cool to watch, right? Like
and put trackers on them and stick them in VR chat.
like neon lights or something. And then I think it would be really cool if it was like on a stage like above, but like below you could see like the behind the scenes with all the text like running around, like this, having to get this ready and that ready, because it takes so much. I don't think people can like appreciate how much goes into like setting up VR, because like you're playing VR, but like you spend a quarter of your time setting things up and making sure things work right, and then exactly. It's a lot to do with streaming, and so it has that potential. It can be done. Will we do it? I think it would be a really, really long time for it to get to that level. I hope for it though. I'm not gonna knock it. I definitely will keep trying and encouraging it.
It's gonna be crazy too, because VR is so physical, you're gonna get like all these ripped gamers that train that they can be physically agile to play VR.
But that's the beauty of VR esports, right? Like,
it's a real blend.
let's be eye candy, okay? Like, let's get, because it's physical.
Where
So
did this lollipop come from?
I always have a lollipop.
Open lollipop.
Like, where was this? Was
pulled
this
out of
100
nowhere.
people? Like, I literally just only saw this right now.
Oh yeah, I've been having a lollipop.
All right. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yes,
I do. It's a medical one. No. But people can like make it look good because you're like in headsets, you're like moving, you're doing a lot of different like physical activity, and it's like has that athletic like I know like maybe you guys have as well, but a lot of different people have been talking with the Olympics committee, to do like VR something, because with VR it is physical. So it does have that physical element.
Yeah.
And then we can do heart rate tracks, and people do that kind of stuff now. So there's a lot of different ways that we can do competitions. We just have to find the right game. Even games like Beat Saber, like I know people watch other people stream it, but I don't know how fun that is to cast or compete in, or maybe competing is, but like people want to watch it, that kind of thing. So like maybe with that, it could be more like a show, when people are doing like choreographed like Beat Saber. That would look really cool.
Those like the like ribbon dancing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So not to toot my own horn, but here we are. I've been told that when I play synth writers, I'm very graceful to look at. So I will totally perform at whatever this event is, and I'll play synth writers.
Okay. I sent a video of me playing synth riders to somebody, and they said I looked like I was trying to land a plane. So, so there's that. So we'll call you, and
maybe we could both play at the same exact time, and the contrast would just be
beautiful. You looking like graceful, and me looking like 747 over here. Come on.
Traffic control, and then you could be like, see, there's no right way to play except there is.
Okay, maybe it doesn't look as good as I thought. maybe we'll look ridiculous.
What if this is like paired? I mean, because we were talking, I don't remember if it was on this show or before it started, but about music. Like, what if this was paired with some kind of music festival? So it's like you've got some kind of whatever band that is super hyped about tech and VR, and then you've also you got esports competition going along.
But there is something that like we are denying about VR, okay? And that is that it is more like an individual solo type of thing. Like yes, you can play multiplayer games, but if you're hanging out with a bunch of people, like do you want to like rotate headsets, or everyone else is kind of like losing interest and that kind of stuff, whereas like with AR it's a little bit more like interactive with your environment. So that's also a thing, and we should also just consider that because VR is something that you put on, it's a solo headset, that may be something that you want to lean in on, because people are always like, well, we want more people to do it, there's so many different things that you can do. Like you have to like you just have to admit that that's what this is. So when I was using VR for the first time, or when I was using it for work, because I worked with addressing isolation and depression in like older adults who are like lonely and isolated, and that's perfect for VR. Like that's like the perfect thing for it. So there is a place for VR, like in maybe like in prisons, people who are isolated that can really use it for
VR in prisons.
I know. VR belongs in prison.
No, it makes sense. It just sounded funny.
That's a real thing. Okay. So so that's kind of like the thing that's really good about VR, that you kind of like, we have to like pay attention to that, because that's kind of where it shines, but we're trying to like make it into something else that's like, like make it more group and that kind of stuff. So if you want that, which it can happen, you just gotta make it look cool. And ESL made it look cool, like at Oculus, but this like with the Hive, it was just a little too early for its time. It's just, it needs to like come at the right time for the right audience, and you need to do it at an event where they're forced to be there. Like you know what I mean? Like you can't just like throw an event, okay, invite people. Like you gotta get people like they're there for something that you have to sit and watch it, and that's when you start to hype them up to get them into it, because you kind of have to do that.
You're like trying to trick them.
Yeah. I wonder if then, I don't think we have any games that exist like this yet, but now that we've got, mixed reality and shared spatial anchoring, I wonder if there's a potential for some kind of VR mixed reality esporty game, because then you're actually using your physical space. The players can see. You could really decorate the space to be themed with whatever the game is. So I wonder if that could be a potential avenue for something really interesting to bring
in the future.
Combine, like you were saying, like augmented reality more into esports versus just all VR. It might be interesting to watch too, because then you can see the players actually move around in their space versus being confined to like.
Well, isn't Dix's game like that? His esports game is like,
was. I don't think he's doing that anymore. Rec, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Rec.
Yeah, but I mean like bigger scale, like even I feel like a shooter, like almost like paintball, but with pass through.
So they did. Oh yeah, with pass through, because there are those like giant warehouse arcade places that do it. It's not really something that people watch, but they can. It's really the thing is like with all of us in this industry, or anyone in streaming or anything like the content creation, is like you have to have that drive to do it. Can it be done? Yes. Can you find some people to partner with? Yes. But you need to like have that like group of people who are like committed to doing it, because it's just so much talk and there's so much potential, but it's a lot of work, and you really need people with like deep wallets, like companies that can afford to like to want it. So that was partly where we were targeting, was when we were working with the community college in Houston. We were targeting people who would like do charity events for their company or organization, where we could come in and be like, okay, this is an approachable game. They could play something like Beat Saber. It's not gonna be Echo where they're floating around. It's not gonna be like violent like Pavlov or anything like that. It could be more of an approachable game, or golf, something like that. That's like you can get your executives to play that. You can get other people, and then it kind of like it becomes like an event where they have to be there. It's for this charity, so it's something good. And then you bring in this element that's like kind of cool, and you have to make it execute it well. You have to make it look good, because if you see some like VR activations, like at some places, they're just like, here's a headset, just wait in line and put it on. And
like taking Walkabout, for example, I'm not saying that they should or could or ever will do this, but if they had some kind of mixed reality mode where they're creating a course combined with mixed reality, but then for an event they're remaking what you see in the headset actually physical as well. So not only can the things overlaid, but also people can see almost pretty much exactly. Obviously, the physics things would not work in real life, but something like that, like where you can make a fun set that goes well with a mixed reality game that also supports pass through, so the players can kind of traverse a real space, hide behind barricades that are actually functioning barricades in the headset and in real life. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, yeah, it does. They did that for when they launched the Quest the first time around, and they had everyone play it with what was the game called? It was like a 3v3 something dead game. I don't remember. It was like a 3v3, and it was in like a space that had like platforms as like
I know Tower Tag was one.
Yes, Tower Tag did something like that. So that I think that there are those options, and then you have to like think about how you want to project that to the audience and who the audience is. It's like, are the people at home going to be entertained? Are they going to get those special effects? And are the people in the audience going to get that, like, and that's why I really like League of Legends and how they do their big old concerts. They have their augmented like singers and stuff like that, where it's like a big show, and we have that ability. We can do it. It's just like making sure that we like cater it correctly, and not just say, well, this is really cool, everyone should try it, and it's awesome, you'll like it.
I got it. I understand now what we have to do. Okay, so we put on this esport event, right? And then we have Thrill DJ the halftime show done, and you can join in VR chat or IRL. Done.
Those are things that like we actually did plan different events for, and then COVID happened, but we had all those plans where we would do post interviews in like VR chat. The world will be made like the same world will be replicated in VR where people could go into it if they're not there physically and be there as well.
Yeah.
And that's also like, this is where like things like haptics come into play, where you can make things like kind of relate in some way, where maybe they can like do a high five and then it zaps through on your controller, and in real life, that kind of stuff, where there's a lot of like possibilities to like line this all up, but again, it costs a lot of money, and you have to get people.
That's hard.
We had to figure out a way to get people into it without just being like, "Is VR? It's really cool," because that's just not going to work. You really have
to Thrill's credit too, though, I've seen. I think at an event, maybe he had somewhere, you could actually, the real life people could see the VR chat people like on a screen, and you could interact. I don't know how it worked at all, because
ShelterCon.
Was it? But that was really cool, because that was a great way of blending VR with IRL people, and I loved it. Yeah. So kudos to him. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, it seems like there's a lot of potential, but we need a lot of money. That is all I've heard.
Or the space. I mean, I think like if all of us, I think we could like bring our own headsets and a couple more, that kind of stuff. And there are people who are willing to do it. It's just like, let's say like AWE is coming up. Wouldn't it be great? They tried to do an esports thing, but it was very like minimal. It was cool, and they had like an interview and everything, but it was like no one was there watching it. So it needs to be like AWE's like committed to doing like a big sporting event, and then you get people from like the community who are well known to come up on stage and play it and do it, and you need some good like casters who are well known, who are excited, and who can like explain it to people.
Vivian, it sounds like you need to talk to Sonia.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Vail actually did a pretty good job with their in-person event, because I went to that one. Yeah, they actually flew people out to go see it as well. But then we also had some random like Miami people wandering in and wondering what it was, which was kind of entertaining. But their turnout for the people that were there, because they also had little booths, not many, it was a very small booths, but like I feel like they did it well as far as real life audience turnout, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but then like we would need a really good follow-up, right? Like
that's true.
Because it was because some people were like, wait, what happened though? Because Vail looked really cool. I did a show with one of the devs there. We did like the battle of the shooter games. We did 4 games, and so it was like a cool event. But like, what's the follow-up? How do we get people afterwards? Okay, now sign up. Do we want people to get in and play leagues? Do we have headsets for sale? Do we like what is like the end goal objective kind of thing? Thanks, Blair. I see Blair's offering he's volunteering. Goes, please volunteer Palmer to help us with this big old event or something. This event that is theoretical that we're coming up with.
Yeah, this theoretical event that we've been planning for the past 30 or so minutes.
But in the meantime, though, there are like people doing stuff inside like social VR apps, which for the longest time I couldn't understand why people wouldn't use as much VR, like social VR apps, because some people would be like, well, I'd rather just play a game. But which is kind of funny, because I sunk a lot of hours just sitting around chatting with people and learning another language or something. But there are like events in that, and so I do want to mention that like with Banter, a side quest was Shane's Banter social media thing. Yeah, he asked if we could bring the Hive back, and I was like thinking like it would be cool to just make it like more game oriented, because that was always really fun. Because, and I'm glad we're doing this on camera. When I was doing a VR talk show in VR, I was like, do people really want to put on a headset and stand there and watch me talk that long? So I made my shows really short, and we always try to add like another element. That's why there was like gameplay or like gift card giveaways or like a performer or something like that. We had like a
smart,
really utilizing VR for what it can do.
Exactly.
Totally. Right. Well, this is by far the longest episode we've ever done, Vivian.
I'm sorry.
No, I knew this would happen. I'm like, we have Vivian on. Normally we're like an hour, and I'm like, that's the usual though. I had a feeling it'd go over, but it was like
a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, this is like, I'm so glad that we had you on, because I knew you'd be a fun guest. I think that's why it was like, she's gonna be so easy to have on. No, but like,
I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to word this in a way that still doesn't sound mean, because now I'm second guessing everything I said. But
no, I'm kidding. Go ahead, be mean.
No, I know you're
not invited to the the VR golf Killettos.
Oh no, but I have my stick. What am I gonna do with my stick? No, but Vivian, you are so fun. And I mean, I don't know what goes on internally, but in case that evil little devil on your shoulder ever tells you that, you're not doing enough in VR, or you're not, a part of things like you used to be, tell that devil to shut up, because so many people, you are still such a big part of the community. So many people love you. You haven't gone anywhere. You are still
I haven't
here.
gone anywhere. You're so right.
Totally
But I said that in a good way, not in a bad way.
I know. I'm kidding. I know. I know. I mean, I get it. And I appreciate that. Thank you. It is really difficult when you because I was really in it, and then I got sick, and then I had to come back again. And then when I got sick again, it was it's really difficult, to go back and try and get to another the same level, and it's kind of not there. So I know I still do things, and I'd love helping. The most I get asked for right now is connecting people. So I get a lot of people who are I want to get into VR, who can I talk to? And then I'm oh, talk to this person, that person, that kind of thing, where I might as well use it for where I can connect people with each other, that kind of thing. Or helping I see Rev is in here. They wanted to do a a shoutcast group, so we help them design their brand and like that. So
stuff like that is super important. And so you even though you may not feel like you're being as loud, because I guess you're not doing the public facing shoutcasting social media stuff as much, you are still helping so many people all the time still, or you're
oh, thank you.
Everybody knows who you are, and I hope that you never ever think that just because you're not doing the public facing things that you're falling. Because I think all of us, we've sort of fallen off even on our own content side of things. And it's oh God, are people going to think I'm still relevant and part of the VR space? But when I see people like you, I'm well, look at Vivian. She's still kicking ass, and everybody knows who she is. And everyone was so damn excited to see that she was going to be a guest on today's show. So I'm you're an inspiration. I'm all right, I don't have to beat myself up so much. Shut up, you are.
How we didn't do an episode for 3 months. But we're still here. Look, we didn't disappear. We just disappeared for a little bit.
Oh, well, that's okay. Well, that's really nice, and we'll validate everybody else then who's feeling like that. Because I know people, especially if you're it's such a lone thing sometimes when you're creating content. So I know people feel that way. It's just that I wasn't doing things like I used to. So I felt well, I mean, I don't even have anything to tell you to check me out with next. I don't know when my next stream is gonna be or anything like that. So, and plus,
what do you mean? The next event is when you put together the big theoretical show we've been talking about. How were we planning this, Vivian, if we weren't going to do this?
You're so right. Okay, my bad. Yes, we will do that. But yeah, and also because I'm doing stuff outside of VR, which I haven't really done before. I was just VR period. But now I'm doing stuff in publishing and comic books with Adam and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. So cool. Sick. I should have brought pictures. I don't know if I could show them anyway, but yeah, you're it's such awesome stuff. And sometimes you do need to take that step back. I think a lot of us we're so into VR that we start to get one mindset.
We all became just one brain.
Yeah. And so it's nice to be able to step out and take aspects of maybe another field and see if this was applied to VR, it'd be much better, or whatever, stuff like that. So I think it's still super important, and you're still doing cool stuff. And I want to show people my character eventually.
Yes, just side note, I'm working on a comic book, and Adam, there's a character based on Adam in there.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're based on a lot of people, but she's the only one that I kept fully. I kept her name, I kept her likeness because of her persona is already kind of
very comic booky.
Yeah, a character.
So cool.
That's awesome.
So excited. Well, all right, ladies, should we go? I guess depending on what time of the day it is, probably eat, drink, have a normal life after this. I know I'm
watch
sweating.
K-drama now and
watch K-drama.
I might start that one that you just recommended. But okay, I just need to know. So you watch It's Okay, It's Not Be Okay, and how did you feel about it?
I did not watch that one because of the title. And we should totally have a totally separate chat because we my cousins, we had to start a separate for the only the cousins that watch K-drama to talk about all of
because
this
people that watch dramas are crazy about it, and I know because it is me. I am. You have to watch it. It's so good. Oh man, it's my favorite one right now that I've seen. That's how good it is.
Okay.
So.
We'll chat offline. We'll see. We'll compare some notes.
All right. Oh no, Alex and just got here. Well, sorry, we're leaving now, so you gotta watch it back.
Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, Alex got here. We gotta go now. Oops.
But yeah,
Well,
oh my god.
Thanks to everyone for coming in. I see like Todd's in
So
there,
fun.
and my girl Ash, and I know Cammy's in there too. So
Yeah.
Hang
Thank
out
you
with
everyone
them.
for joining us. Sorry we were gone for so long. Hopefully it won't be another 3 months until you see us again.
Maybe.
Maybe, but we'll try. It'll be better. So, all right. Thank you.
Alrighty.
And
Bye, everyone.
goodbye.